Hello guys, it's Shrimp Time here and welcome in yet another video about shrimp keeping. Today we are going to see updates of two different shrimp keeping methods. The first aquarium will be the aquarium with CO2 with a lot of plants, and the second aquarium will be a shrimp tank inspired by Carrick Payton using the Akadama soil for breeding shrimps. So before we start, I need to prepare this tank because it got a lot of algae, and it's really problematic tank because I thought that this type of aquarium will be lovely, will be beautiful to show off some shrimps, but unfortunately those shrimps don't want to cooperate with me. They prefer to hide. The light in this tank is just a little bit too strong, and even though that there are about 100 of shrimps in this tank, there is so much hiding spots, so much hiding places that it is almost impossible to get those shrimps. As you can see, the whole tank is covered with algae, and this algae is another problem for a shrimp YouTuber, and this is because the shrimps will feed on this algae. They are not interested in any type of food that I will put into the tank. Maybe one or two shrimps will go to the food, but all of those shrimps prefer to eat the algae and the bacteria biofilm. And as you can see, there is really a huge amount of this algae and biofilm. And on the other hand, the algae is the type of algae that the plants can live with it, and they got no problem. I think that after I will get thousands of shrimps or 500 of shrimps in that tank, I will be able to show some shrimps. And this is the main tank I want to talk about today. This is a thick layer Akadama shrimp tank, and I've got two tanks to show to you. One of the tanks got blue bolt shrimps. This is the younger tank. The shrimps are about 1 month in this tank. And the second tank is a tank with galaxy fishbone red shrimps, with beautiful, nice shrimps. And as you already can see, there are babies, and there's a lot of those babies. But the tank is so huge, it's like 50 liters of water in this tank, that I'm unable to show you all of the babies at one time. But you will see the babies will gather near to the food, because opposite to the planted tank, we don't have so much algae in this tank. The soil isn't so rich in those nutrients that will feed the algae. We don't have any CO2 injection in this tank. And here we see some shrimps feasting. But the main ideas of this tank are keeping the pH level in bigger control, because some of the active soils that I use can bring the pH below 5.5. And this is a big problem for me, because I think that even the Taiwan Bee genetic shrimps have a problem with so low pH. You need to remember that the nitrification process isn't going well in so low pH. I think that optimal pH is something between 5.5 to 6 for Caridina shrimps that got Taiwan genetics, and something around 6 and or a little bit above 6 that got the B genetics, like crystal red shrimps, like super crystal reds, etc. As you can see, in this tank we got a very thick layer of soil. I think in the highest spot it can go over 10 centimeters. So this is quite high layer of the soil. But on the other hand, the Akadama is really, really inexpensive soil, so I can use it the way I want without giving big expenses. I will add a little bit of soil that will bring the pH lower, because the Akadama itself will go about 6.5, even a little bit higher. So we need some other soil that will bring the pH lower. But we got one thing that is very beneficial for this type of tank. It's the amount of surface for our beneficial bacteria, because with so thick layer of the soil, with undergravel filtration, and you need to remember the undergravel filtration is only in one spot, it's not on whole of the tank, we will get extremely high amount of beneficial bacteria. And the main idea with this tank is to get an ecosystem that will be able to keep my tank running for 2 or 3 years, and that will be able to breed a lot of shrimps and keep a lot of baby shrimps survival. I'm testing this way because I'm not used to use so thick layers of soil. Yeah, I must agree that I use undergravel filtration, but as I mentioned, there is a bit of problem, because when you use those undergravel filters with some types of soil, you will get the pH going too low, and you need to remember that the filtration will deplete the buffering abilities of the filter. In this type of tank, we are able to keep our pH lower just by adding a little bit of active soil that is able to bring down the pH. And I have no problem with adding like 100 or 200 of milliliters of environment soil to this tank each or second month or each month, because it's not a big expense. The envy don't have a lot of fertilizers, so this is also safe for the shrimps. And the only thing that I can be bothered with is the aesthetics. As you can see, I didn't add any of the plants to this tank yet, because I need to see all the shrimps. I need to see the results. But after some time, I will add some mosses that will eat those NO3 particles, so I will be sure that everything is good in this tank. I hope that after some time I will be able to show you very, very nice results in this tank, and that I will make more of tanks in this way, because when I had my tanks in my office, there was no problem with making research once 6 months or 4 months or once a year. Now when I have different place to breed the shrimp, this is quite hard for me to do so fast research. If you enjoyed this video, please see the video about blue balls, the selective breeding of blue balls, and remember, keep on shrimping.